today, we are going to be covering a great classic. It's from a while ago. It's from 2007. It's called Surf's Up. And before we get into any of that, though, me and Evan, we're just such big Survivor fans. We do have a couple Survivor questions. I hope that's okay. What was your favorite memory of the whole experience? Just Survivor 41. What would you say has to be creme de la creme, the best moment for you?
Oh wow. I'd say definitely winning that last challenge. Just the amount of relief, I
Yeah.
felt like I had my back up against the wall all season. And to like be on edge constantly, always fighting, always working, and then to have that moment of, oh my God, I've made it,
Mhm.
everything, all the work I've put in, it's been realized. That was just like such an incredible feeling, and I just remember feeling like such peace.
I was rude. I was so excited when you won that also. So that was a good moment for me too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And getting to hug Jeff, of course.
That's what I
That's
wanted to
classic.
ask you about that. What was it like hugging Jeff Probst?
That's
Oh, I
great.
mean, of course, surreal. That's something when you're in casting that you never even think like, oh, this is like, it's so surreal. It's never gonna happen. Then when it actually does, it's just like, yeah. I mean, that's definitely an all timer. I think I peaked.
That's great. That's awesome. I've been watching Survivor forever, and so we have a mutual friend, Jack Atkins, who was on the Circle season 2, who is your fraternity big, which is hilarious because Evan didn't want to be my big in my fraternity. He turned me down, even though we're best friends. We don't talk about that. But
Yeah.
so when Jack told me you were on the season, I was like, I know who I'm rooting for, and man, you had such a wild ride. I loved watching you the whole time.
Yeah, it was such a roller coaster of emotions because you really work your way up from the bottom throughout the whole season, and it was so incredible to watch.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and it's so interesting. Like I'm sure you understand it too, Alex. But to watch yourself back in
Oh
a
yeah.
narrative perspective, like to
So
see a
weird.
story unfold where you're a part of that story, it's definitely surreal, really cool, especially as a avid movie lover. Maybe the hero's role, maybe not. Either way, to see yourself as a part of a narrative, it's pretty incredible.
That's a great way to put it. As someone, I love stories also. That's what I do here on this podcast is talk about stories. So I absolutely love that element of it because when you're out there, you're not thinking as much about that. You're just kind of doing things and playing the game and you have all this on your mind. And then to see like, oh, this is what the producers were seeing and watching. And so like you and I, we got kind of opposite experiences. Like they really showed you as like the underdog who like worked his way up. You were like the hero. And so for me, I was like the villain, the scoundrel of the season. But it's fun narratively to see how these things play out. So I totally get what you mean. And that's a really astute observation. Survivor 42. Did you have a moment? Were you watching? Were you just like, because to me, I thought it was interesting. All the twists and everything were the same. And so to see what could have happened, did you have any moments like that where you're like, this was interesting?
Yeah, I mean, of course, kicking myself when Drea found the advantage of the to the
Yeah.
bench.
I thought of
Um,
you instantly.
I thought I gave it a thorough search, but the thing for me is that I checked everywhere. Anytime there was a tripod structure at every challenge, always a tribal scanning and looking. So for me, it was no out of the ordinary moment. I wanted to check. It looked like the Sarah Lacina bench
Yeah.
from season 34. So I thought I recognized it, but hers was on the side. So I was checking the sides. You could see
Yeah.
me leaning over, trying
I
to
know.
scan for like, but nope. I
It's one of
just
those all-time moments though, because it's like a scream at the TV moment. You're just like, yeah, it's right there.
I know. I remember watching that episode live, thinking, no, like when they started, panning over, I was like, oh, there was something there, wasn't there?
No. Yeah.
I wanted to know how does it feel pulling off something like the fake idol move in a tribal, probably one of the biggest moves of the season. I'm sure it'll be in compilations best of in the future. How does it feel to pull off a move like that?
It was really incredible. I enjoyed that moment a lot. The build up was really nice. Again, it's like these narratives that unfold. It's crazy that there's no script and yet Shakespeare still tends to happen. It's really miraculous, and I just loved the dynamic between Liana and I. It was so fun to watch back, especially since there's a lot of attention. We're both the young players gunning for each other. She hates my face. But I knew going into the game what I wanted my perception to be. I wanted to put out the perception of like, the young, laid back, chill surfer dude. And so I could tell that Liana thought of me as cocky, arrogant. So I wanted to lean into that, and it worked, and it was just an incredible payoff. That night was so surreal, especially because, the way they played it back was in a way that you could almost feel like the other players. The other players were like so shocked because
Yeah.
when you watch the show, you're involved with all of the scheming and plotting. But when you're another player in the real game, you don't actually know everything that's happening. So a lot of things are very shocking. But this time the editors kind of made it so that the audience is also being shocked, which I thought greatly added to the value of the moment, and I was really
I
happy with that.
agree. I agree. It was probably one of my favorite moments of that season. I think, like Evan said, it'll be talked about. That's the type of thing, like, as a Survivor fan, you're just like with your friend, or like in my case, like my brother, and just sitting on the couch, and you're like, one day I'm gonna make a fake idol, and I'm a fool. So, like, you know what I mean? But like, you had such an extra step involved there, and the scheming and having to know. What I also love about the knowledge is power advantage is the irony of the name, because as soon as they end up telling someone about the name, all the power is sucked out of the advantage. And it's like you said, it's Shakespearean. Oh man, how epic is that both times someone told about the knowledge is power advantage, that it end up the knowledge of the advantage is what ended up taking away the power. It's great. Okay, I could talk literally
Brilliant.
all day about Survivor. I think it's amazing you got to be part of the new kickoff. I know there's a lot of whatever about the two new seasons. I've been enjoying them so much. It's so nice having Survivor back on the air, and I literally can't wait for the fall. That little trailer they give us at the finale, it's not enough. I need more.
Yeah.
I need more.
Yeah, I know. I was so honored to be a part of it. I've loved the show for so long. So it was just such an incredible opportunity for me, and I'll always be grateful for it.
Hell yeah.